Hi, I'm Rosemary Landis, and I'm talking about my brother Bill and his love for animals. He always loved animals as a kid. We always had fish and a dog and chickens. We had pet chickens in the city, and they were really tame. We'd get them out and hold them and feed them and everything like that, but at night we'd have to lock them up in the garage so nothing ate them. And our dad would take us to the zoo all the time. We loved to go to the zoo. And one time my brother talked my dad into letting him get a skunk. I don't remember what the skunk's name was, but that skunk, it was de-skunked or whatever you call it, but he was really tame. He was just like having a kitten. I don't remember what or why we had to get rid of it, but eventually we did. And his love of animals just continued. When he got older and got married, he always wanted to live in the country, and he was out, they had where horses would board and stuff like that, and he trained dogs, and he liked to go, he always talked about wanting a large wild animal. And I don't know what or how, but he got a bear cub. And this bear cub was very small when he got it, and they would bottle feed it, and very tame. And his youngest, well, his little girl was probably about 4 at the time, and she liked the bear, but she was kind of afraid of it. But that bear was very tame, and as it grew, Bill would take him in the truck with him sometimes. He'd be riding down the road, and this bear would be sitting in the passenger street, and he'd get lots of looks and people honking and stopping, because it's not every day you see some guy driving along and having a bear in the front seat that's alive. So, and he later moved out into Peculiar. And when he was in Peculiar, besides having goats, and he raised beagles, and he had the bear, he built this big area for him, and his house was like an old grain silo, and he could go in and get out of the elements there, and he had all his stuff in there, and he was tame, but none of us would get close to him. We wouldn't let the children next to him or anything, but anyway, Bill was also an over-road truck driver, and in 1995, when he was on a trip over the road, he had sleep apnea, I believe, and was killed in a trucking accident. And so my sister-in-law, Kim, was not able to take care of this bear. And she was real petite too, and of course was afraid of the bear and for the children and all. So they got him put into a wildlife refuge down in Eureka Springs. And someone came out and got the bear, and they had quite a time getting the bear convinced to go into the truck to go back. And I think finally they had to tranquilize him to get him in the truck. And he went down to Eureka Springs, and we went down there and got to visit with him. He had his big place. I think the bear got up to about between 350 and 400 pounds. But anyway, we did hear the sad news that the bear passed away a couple of years ago, which this is 2012 right now. So he had a good long life. Bill was always about his animals.